all the time in Carroll County. I'm just saying. It's a very, very unlucky place to live. They dropped the charges because it was accidental. You don't accidentally run over somebody and back up and try to do it again. Let's start from the beginning as investigative reporters, right? So you would ask the questions who, what, where, when, and why. Should be easy, right? Of course it is. Yes, I know, you're innocent until proven guilty, but what good does that do you if you are not alive? Well, hello, my silky friends. I'm just gonna tell you right now, I am mad as a hornet. So, let me try to adjust my microphone. Can y'all hear me? I am so sorry to my regular peeps. I know it is the middle of the day and everybody's at work, so it's okay. Just catch the replay, comment, whatever. Um, man, I'm furious at these documents. Okay, furious on so many levels here. Um, One is yeah, I've been in the yard. I've been trying to edit videos. Like, I was not planning to go live, but yet here we are. Let me see. Hold on. I haven't even seen your comments. Hey, Digital. Good to see ya. Just Deb. I know there's not going to be a lot of people here on this live, and I'm going to try to keep it relatively short. There are some things I want to go through and go over, and then when the person who sent this stuff to me again, either yesterday or this morning, sees this, they will know exactly. Yes, I did get the message because I'm going to go over some things. This isn't a document read. It's going to be more like a rant. We are going to read some things, and then I'm going to share with you some information that somebody gave me. If the documents don't make you mad, this other thing will. Hello there, Freckle Joy. Good to see ya. Okay. So let's start. You know, it's been like document drop city the last 2 days, and I have been working, and I couldn't deal with any of this. Was supposed to have the day off. I mean, I am off today and tomorrow. Oh Lord, I don't know how much more my heart can stand, y'all. I really don't. Um, okay, let me bump down to. I've got fuzz on me again. Why does this happen every time I go live? All right. There are so many documents, you know, we have motions to recuse, have the prosecutor recuse himself, the judge, we got a continuance, well, we're going to talk about the continuance, but we've also got we don't want to move this from Carroll County. There's no reason to. We got all kinds of stuff, just people wilding. And behind the scenes, let me tell you, it is it is ridiculous crazy. All right, behind the scenes, what people are doing, saying, people are running around like scared rabbits. Well, that tells me one thing: some of these people are guilty, and that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to go through this real quick. Silky, are you saying I'm going to get madder? Probably. Hello, Sleuthy Goosey. Good to see ya. Yeah, you probably will have a lot of things to say, Sleuthy. I'm sure you do. On this, I'm going to go over this really, really quick. And let me just tell you, I can't read this first one. So I'm going to have to put my glasses on because even at this level, I can't see it. Okay, this was just, this is the motion for emergency continuance. And I'm just going to skip, I'm not just reading this, a few things off of this, okay? This isn't the whole point. Although you will see why as we get into some things, this is why. And then I get mad, and then I get other information that makes me furious. All right. Talking about on March 1st, 2024, Council took the deposition of First Sergeant Holman, Jerry Holman. We will be talking about you, Mr. Holman, a lot. Um, it was learned that there were recorded interviews that had not been provided to the prosecutor or the council. Jeez, why not, Jer? What's up, Jer? Why can't you provide these things? Is there something in there? You just wondering. Um, It was also learned that the attachments to the First Sergeant Holman's report had not been provided to the prosecutor or counsel. Like, why? Mr. McClellan promised to get them. But why? On March 11th, 2024, counsel first received and recorded the recorded interviews of, I don't know how to say this, Talara Eilenfeld, Robert Fortson, Rick Snay, Anya Kane, and Kevin Greenlee. Together, Mark Robert Cohen and Kyra DeBruin. All right. So you can go through, there are several channels that have covered this, but basically, because of this information that has been withheld, they want to uh, continue this hearing for Monday because, for heaven's sakes, you got all this stuff that hasn't been turned over and it's very important. But now, this isn't the main thing. Let me go to this. All right, these are new things, and this is for, I'm going to be talking about the third. Yes, the third. 1, 2, 3 request for Frank's motion. Let me catch up with you for a second. Make sure. Hello, Big Fish. Hello, Mother of Dragons. Digital. I want to see Nick's medical records at this point in Holman, too. Yeah, there's a whole lot I want to see. Anyway, these are things that in this new Franks, okay, some of these things, I've sat on the fence. Well, okay, I've been leaning more towards one side of the fence for a long time, but still open minded enough to say that if you can show me, let me preface this. I've always said if you can show me evidence that Richard Allen is, guilty, then hey, put him under the jail. How many times have I said that? I wasn't seeing that evidence. And then you turn around and you come up with stuff like this. I heard, and let me say this carefully, I heard from certain people, even certain creators, for months, they would say, Silky, you just wait. This evidence is going to come out and it's going to blow everything out of the water. Okay. And I'm like, okay, show it to me. Well, we can't, but I know they have this background information, which to me was always frightening. All right. How are you getting background information? You know, I will I would love to have all the things that you people send me and tell me, the local people that live there, the things that you know. But I don't want any evidence. I don't want any of this stuff because my name would be listed in all these documents right now. And guess what? You won't see Silky Southern Tea in there. But anyway, I had some creators say, hey, it has to do with geofencing. You're going to see. And I'm like, you know what? All right. Show me. If Richard Allen was there, then show me, and I will jump on your side, and I'll say, yeah, I'll grab the pitchfork and the torch, and we'll all go. Not really. I'm not that kind of person, but dang. Uh, hello. I'm behind a little bit. Hello, Jen. Hello, whispers in the wind. Yeah, if you haven't seen me before, I'm a little heated today. A little heated. All right, I'm not gonna see you for just a second. Okay. So from this third Frank's motion, the reasonings behind, and they're still pushing for this. And look, from the very first one, that 130 something page document, and that I don't understand why that wasn't given consideration. I understand we're playing, how do I say this nicely? We're having a measuring contest, okay? Just say a peeing contest. Let's make it very clean. We're having a peeing contest between the defense and the prosecution. Hey, that happens. It does. But, um, okay, either the information in there is correct or it isn't. Just because you can't stand each other, just because the judge is PO'd because she kicked people off the case and the Supreme Court said no, they're back on the case, that doesn't give you the right to interfere in this man's future. And on the side of justice, is that not what you're elected for? Justice? God, I thought that was the Constitution. Jeez. I'm flabbergasted right now. That's not what we're doing here? Apparently not. Okay, take it down, Silky. Just after this, and I'm just reading through parts of this, okay? Little bits of it, because I want to keep this fairly short. Just after the defense was reinstated on the case in January 2024, it received certain discovery in the form of a September 22nd, 2023 report authored by Sergeant Jerry Holman. Hey, Jer! Reportedly memorializing an interview Holman, had with a former Purdue professor named Jeffrey Turco. The professor, we don't know who he is. Can't remember. He might have been from Purdue. We don't know. Don't know his name. We'll never find him again. Boom. The very next day, ah, we have a professor. All right. Okay. So here comes that beautiful word that everyone has been telling me for months. Both the geofencing evidence and geofencing. A geofence. This sounds nice and safe, doesn't it? And Holman's September 22nd report provide new information that supports the defense request for a Frank's hearing. Sorry about the copy of this, y'all. I don't have an original. Specifically, the defense received certain geofencing evidence that at least three, let's see, there's Richard Allen. What was it? Is this supposed to be a me, myself, and I? Because there are 3 people, according to the geofence. Can we count in Indiana? Were in or around the crime scene at a time while the unalivings were taking place, according to law enforcement timelines, which I have said is a bunch of crap for months now, right? It's crap. I said it didn't happen. I've told you that over and over. It did not happen in the middle of the dang afternoon with all these people out there and nobody saw it. Horse feathers. Specifically, specifically, there were 3 people. According to the timeline, none of the owners of the phones have any connection to Richard Allen. Wait a second. Well, none of these 3 people that were at the crime scene during this timeline, not like just, on the bridge, watching fish, doing whatever. There were 3 people at the crime scene, according to the geofence, but why weren't they arrested? Because they were a heck of a lot closer than Richard Allen was on the bridge. If that was Richard Allen, and we will talk about that. That's coming up. All right. Hold on. Oh my gosh. All right. Both the geofencing evidence and Holman's request report provide new information. All right, I wanted to say that again. It provides new information. Let's go down to 9. The geofencing evidence would provide evidence of any of the following scenarios. A, those persons walking with the phones. All right, we got 3 people, geofence. It can be one of these 3 things. Those persons walking with the phones are witnesses that would have observed the unalivings as they were taking place, and none of them have identified Richard Allen. Okay, they were there. They weren't involved. They were like, oh my, there's an unaliving. We saw it all. Oh, but we can't identify Richard Allen because he wasn't there. Not that any of this happened at that time. All right, the second one is those persons walking with the phones were witnesses who observed nothing. There's a big ritualistic or whatever unaliving, but yeah, I ain't say nothing. I don't know. I didn't say nothing. As okay, as the murders did not take place the afternoon of February, that should have been 13th, 2017. Okay, you didn't see anything because the murders, I shouldn't say that word, the unalivings didn't take place. But the victims were taken to the crime scene after the search was called off. How many of us have said that? That's the second scenario. They weren't there. It didn't happen. It happened elsewhere. They call off the search, bring back the victims, right? We've said it over and over. Or, I love this one. C, the other scenario possible is those persons walking with the phones were participants in the unalivings. Well, now that makes sense, doesn't it? It does make sense because you're there, you've got a phone, you've been geofenced. If it happened, you can't say you didn't see it. You see what I'm saying? All right, but now let's get into what makes me even more furious. If I'm not angry enough. All right, we're going to skip along in this document to number 13. When Tony Liggett, the marvelous, the sheriff, yay, our hero who found the unaliver just a few days before election. Wow, man, that was great timing. Lucky for you, Tony. Okay, Tony Liggett's lies. I'm going to look back at this video and I'm going to be like, oh, Jesus. I know. I'm going to look back and I'm going to be like, you should have toned it way down. When Tony Liggett drafted his affidavit for search warrant of Richard Allen's home, he, Liggett, concealed from Judge Diener the fact that he had at least 3 phones and the people using those phones were moving in and around the crime scene at times when the unalivings would have been taking place according to law enforcement timelines, and that Richard Allen was not in any way connected. Oh, Liggett. Are they saying in number 13 that Liggett lied? Our sheriff? The good guy? The one that we have elected? Not me. I don't live in Carroll County. Uh, the hero. Liggett lied. Oh, my goodness. I never, in all my days. Tony Liggett should have notified Judge Diener that certain people who are not named Richard Allen nor connected to Richard Allen were moving in and around the crime scene at a time when Liggett claims the unalivings were being committed. Okay, he didn't tell him. So Judge Diener signs this because Liggett makes a list of lies. Liggett's list of lies. Oh, I think that's what I'm going to title this video. Ha! Okay, so Liggett and his lying. So he signs that, he gives all this evidence to Judge Diener. I don't know. Judge Diener. I don't know if he has any idea of Liggett's lies or not. But he sees this on the paper and, Tony Liggett swears this is happening. He's like, okay, I'll sign it. And then I think, I always called him Diener the Wiener because he recused himself, like right immediately after. And then when the Franks motion came out, I'm like, I'm not so sure he was really a wiener. He probably looked at all this stuff and said, oh, no, I ain't going down with y'all boys. I'm getting my name off of this case. And I would have done the same. Well, I wouldn't listen to Liggett to start with, but anyway, it is reasonable to conclude if Tony Liggett had notified Judge Diener that certain people not named Richard Allen, nor connected to Richard Allen, were moving in and around the crime scene, then Judge Diener would not have signed the affidavit, especially based on the paucity of evidence otherwise contained in the affidavit connecting RA to the murders. The unalivings. I'm sorry, YouTube. Uh, anyway, like CJ says, I'm gonna have ShamWow commercials now. Well, it ain't the first time. Yeah, exactly. He wouldn't have signed it. So here we go again with his lies. Because, in the original Franks, we knew that he lied. He lied about the timeline, and it all goes through in this place. He lied. He lied about Muddy and Bloody. He lied about the car. He lied about the time. He lied about a lot of stuff. And that was Frank's motion number one. But what we did not know, and that everybody kept saying, defense, 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 you're going to see, like parents, Richard Allen's guilty. Richard Allen was there. Well, where is he? According to this, he wasn't. All right, so here we go with again the lies, and now when we're bringing this again, it's the geofencing. If Diener had known there were three people there at the time with phones at the crime scene, how on earth could you sign an affidavit to, on Richard Allen, who was on the bridge, just on the bridge? A lot further away. All right. Said geofencing information would have provided evidence to Judge Diener that negated Richard Allen's presence at the crime scene. Yes, it is exculpatory. That information alone would have made Judge Diener say, hey, there was three other people there. Why don't you arrest one of them? Dig up some information on them, because if there were three people there at the time, probably at least one of them are guilty and the other two are covering, right? Additionally, Sergeant Jerry Holman's September 22nd, 2023 memorialization of his interview with Jeffrey Turco again reveals that he left out information. Oh man, you did it back in September. You did it, like, you just keep doing it, Jerry. What's up with that? Jer? Hey, Jer. Need to get it together. All right, so this is all talking about the runes. I'm not going to talk about that because we have gone through it. We've gone through the Franks. I've talked about Odinism. We've talked about it all here. Um, okay, and then we're going to go, let's see. All right, I liked this sentence. Because Holman had sworn under oath, sworn. If you're under oath and you tell a lie, isn't that perjury? Like, isn't that a criminal offense? Otherwise, people would just, like, lie all the time, right? Because Holman had sworn under oath in his August 10th, 2023 deposition that the sticks found at the crime scene did not represent Odinism or any type of cult worshipping or any type of group that would have conducted the crime, it was in Holman's interest to hide the actual words of Turco. Okay, because it says in here that it was, maybe it was the next one, that it was ritualistic. Let me say that it had, oh, let me go back up here to number 19. What Holman failed to write in his report, because it's part of his report, and you know how the stuff put excerpts, they put receipts. We call those receipts, and that's what the defense does. What Holman failed to write in this report were Turco's words that more strongly detailed how Odinism was likely involved in the unalivings due to the likelihood that the sticks were formed in a runic script, and how it was very plausible that human sacrifice could be a component to said murders. Because I didn't get, and maybe it's just because I was reading the first Frank so fast, I understood what Turco said as far as, yes, it is, most likely somebody who is either an Odinist or a fanboy or whatever. it does. These are ruins. This is an Odin symbol. Now, what I didn't catch, so if it was in there, please let me know. I didn't see this. How Turco said it is very plausible because remember, even when I've done videos on Odinism, traditional Odinism, it's not. It used to be about human unalivings, but from what we know, okay, I'm not an Odinist, I don't know what they do. Uh, that they weren't doing that kind of sacrifice. It was other sacrifices or blots. Remember, we've talked about blots a lot. But now he's saying that it's very plausible that this kind of sacrifice could be a component. So actually, some of these Odinists, according to the professor, actually do this kind of sacrifice. So it's not just some, pipe dream way out there, oh, well, here's another wild theory. Let's put them all in the basket for Delphi because we got plenty. Um, yeah. So I thought that was, okay, here we go again. Um, Although he could not necessarily interpret the intended meaning of these sticks formed into ruins, the stick configurations were pretty clearly runic, and he said he could certainly imagine that this was somebody's idea of when you do human unaliving, you carve ruins. Runes. Runes. I have a problem with that word. I want to put more syllables in it. Okay. The fact that it is in a tape statement that it is entirely plausible to me. That to me is the one thing that knocks everything out as far as, this is just a wild theory. Then it goes on and it talks about Brad and Amber and Patrick and the whole 9 yards. Now, let me get back to where I was. Let me look at what you're doing. What y'all are saying. Um, hey, Hiawatha. I'm sassy today. I'm more than sassy. I am furious. I really just like want to. That's what I want. Hello, Yaya Kelly. Yes. You know what? Somebody whispers in the wind. Actually, somebody challenged me on this because I said this a video or two ago that they are not necessarily the same person according to ISP, and it is. I mean, I've watched that press conference over and over and over, and I'm like, how y'all people not hearing what I'm hearing? Because it is plainly said, oh, but I have some more information. Um, Yeah, I'm not going to go real long, but I only have two more things, like two things to show you, two screens. So let me, I'm going to have to go back and watch all this. Hey, I have Apophis. Good to have you here. Oh, hey. Yeah, I'm going to read something else that, that a lot of people give you a hard time. Um, but I was looking at another article that somebody sent me, and like, look, it completely goes with what you're talking about. Um, when did Libby's phone cross the bridge? That can be determined, and if it never crossed the bridge, well, that is problematic. Yes, absolutely. I've wondered about that. That should be on there along with everything else, or not. Although y'all know, and I think even Meow said it when she was on a few days ago, that there is a completely other way to get exactly where they were without crossing that bridge at all. Did it? So that's my question. Did it cross the bridge? I'm not sure that it did. Um, Let me see. Did I say hello, Luna Ray? I'm not sure. Uh, okay. Now let me show you one more thing. So let me get back to where I was. Um, Actually, let me go somewhere else because somebody, and I'm not going to name them because they wouldn't want me to. Okay, we're having a conversation, and they were trying to share this article with me, and then they did, which they did. Finally, I found it. I'm sorry. We've tried. You've tried. I'm a little dumb, I guess. I couldn't get it to come up, but I did today. And but this and then there's a comment on here that really really upset me. There are a couple of things. Now look at this. This article is from IG Crime Feed. February. Look at this date. February 13th, 2019. 2019. Okay, you know what? In 2019, let me tell you something. I was one of these people that didn't follow the Delphi case. All I knew is I knew the Snapchat, unalivings. I believed, whatever report I heard said, hey, yeah, she took a video, guy in the back. Do you recognize this guy? That's all I knew. Okay. I wasn't doing true crime at the time. And when I followed it, there wasn't a whole lot of information, so it's like it was always in limbo for me. But y'all people that have followed this, how is this still a question? All right. So we're looking at this. This is ID crime. Was it ID crime feed? Yeah. All right. We're talking about, they're recapping the case here. And then we see this infamous picture of Abby that looks completely ridiculous. And I've said it a million times. It always looked ridiculous to me. It was just off. I just looked at it. It's not. No, it's off. And not even talking about all the other things that you can see in this picture. It ain't right, y'all. It just ain't right. All right, but look on down further where under this picture it says a closer photo of a man walking, perhaps the same man, perhaps, was always also found on Libby's phone and released in hopes of a lead in the case. A composite, listen to the words coming out of my mouth. A composite of photos of this man and of other photos of the bridge area have been turned into a composite video and hosted on abbyandlibby.org, giving the impression of the suspect walking on the bridge. I've always said that's not an iPhone video. That's not what an iPhone video would look like. You can tell there are skips in it. I said it looks more like it came from a trail can or something with a stop camera because okay, like look. Now, what makes me furious? Okay, you wanna build a character, It's like build a bear. Let's build a bridge guy, okay? Let's just build one. Let's make him something. We'll take a picture here, there, whatever. We'll just put them all together. We'll make a composite. We'll make a video. Let me tell you the problem about the video is when you're taking a composite of pictures and you're making a video out of them, then how do you get up there, Doug Carter, and say, look at the mannerisms? Remember that whole conference, the infamous one in April? Wasn't it April 2019? The composite. Look at the mannerisms. Look at the gait. You may recognize this man. Well, heck no. Nobody can recognize that man because he's a dadgum composite. How are we supposed to recognize him? You know what? Nobody wanted you to recognize him. Probably because he doesn't exist. Not in that form. Maybe it's this. Maybe that's why some of these pictures, like the ones I've shown from the Pharaoh's Tribune, have the line down the sides. Maybe why you've got all this crap in there, because it was never one person. What if that bridge guy was somebody like Tobe or Tony or whoever just walking across the bridge and like, yeah, let's take a picture of this and let's add all this crap on there. It doesn't mean anybody's guilty. It means that it's a composite, and this whole video is a composite. So to the person that wrote to me saying, yeah, the video shows RA was 5'4" and blah 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 and this and that, I didn't even really address that whole comment because I'm like, you can't think out of the box. That's the problem. You got no you got no skills for thinking anything except what somebody's telling you. All right, then there were a few other things in here, and I can't see your comments right now because I'm flailing and I'm all upset. Um, upset about this whole thing because while y'all are having the ping contest, a man is sitting in prison. A man has lost his life, and while we thought maybe he's guilty, And maybe they're trying to keep him safe the first few months, and then we find out he's got Odinist guards, and we found out all this garbage and all the lies. And yet, y'all in law enforcement, in our judicial system, who are supposed to protect us, have this man up here, and we hope that he makes it till tomorrow. Now, if you can't prove that he was there with geofencing or anything else, and this dad blame video is a composite, then you tell me why we're even having a trial. Why is this man on trial? Can somebody please tell me that? Because all I have seen is affidavits and lies. Lie, 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 lie. So we're spending millions of dollars, Indiana. I'm not a taxpayer in Indiana. I am in Alabama. You tell me why we're doing this. But here's some interesting stuff because this is going to play into my final and last slide. All right. Banfield brought up the Golden State unaliver case and how DNA was integral in the arrest of suspect Joseph D'Angelo. She asked, in the light of the Golden State, could DNA and genealogy sites be an area that could be mined? Sergeant Coleman, they mean Holman. They didn't get it right either. Jer. Sorry. We will not deny or confirm whether or not we have DNA. Okay? But I think the public realizes that with a crime like this, it is rare not to have DNA. We will reach out to the genealogy websites. Any new technology that comes available, we will use it. Okay, well, I understand that this was in 2017 and Idaho was in 2022, but I also realize that in Idaho, they had 20, and this is the original. This is not by the time they did all the other testing and sent it to, that's a whole nother case. Besides, they sent it to another lab. They had 20 skin cells on the button of the sheath for Brian Koberger. But yet they found him, they chased him down to Pennsylvania. Now I don't know whether he's guilty or not either. But they had 20 skin cells. Now you know that if there's DNA, and I agree, there's got to be a DNA on here. They did all this stuff in like what 6 weeks, and found Koberger, and so you're not going to confirm or deny, but it would be rare. Like I can't confirm or deny, but boys, it'd be rare. That was that conversation. Okay, just keep that in your noggin. And then I was looking at this is really an interesting article, y'all. Look it up. Uh, they were talking about Holman. I'm sorry. They're talking about Holman or Mike Patty being bridge guy, and Holman said that people had tipped him in. This is just humor. The tips didn't bother me, but what hurt me was they said I was heavy set and I have a chubby face. Same Holman. Got me a little chubby face too. And then Patty responded and he said, they said I was too fat to be the guy. Well, you know what? Neither one of you should feel bad because the bridge guy ain't the bridge guy. So, it's some indistinct person from Indiana or wherever you want him to be from. Like he's a composite. He could be from anywhere. Um, I was also looking down and I'm just gonna lay this here. They were talking about the true crime journalist James Renner is talking about, he went to see the Patties and he goes on to describe Libby. And then, Kelsey, and she says, quote, I want to be the person I saw Libby as. So outgoing and fun and talking to everybody. And then it goes on to talk about, her hobbies, that she was into forensics, etc., etc. Now, I'm going to show you one more thing. Oh, hello. I'm sorry I missed so many of you. Let me go to one thing and then I'm just going to get to your I'm going to get to your stuff. We could do back this last slide. Okay? Last one. And this was sent to me. The person that sent me this, make sure y'all can see it. Can y'all see that okay? I can't tell what's going on here. Let me look at this. Yeah. No. Hold on. Let me share it. Because y'all can't see that. Let's see. Are y'all seeing it now? Yeah. Okay, this is part of an email. All right, the email says, when Holman was asked about ancestral DNA testing, he said we would utilize, now listen close to this letter, okay? When Holman was asked about ancestral DNA testing, he said we would utilize any DNA testing available. Okay, we just saw that in that article. I watched a video of one of the people who run the testing, so I sent a question to them. Could they do the test for Delphi? Okay, so this person reached out to the testers, not Holman. And could you do this for Delphi? I was told that law enforcement refused the testing and said it was because the family did not want the test done. Since when does the family decide what tools are used to catch a perpetrator? Now, I cannot say 100% I wasn't on that phone call. I cannot say that this is exactly what happened. What I can say is the person that sent me this has been very reliable and very trustworthy, and I have talked to them for a very long time. Um, so there you go. I do not want to put this person, I target on this person's back. So I'm not going to say anything more. But it made me furious, but it also sickened me to a degree that I cannot explain. If that were my child, I would. I would want to, like, look, you still want justice because in all this creators fighting, blah blah, this letter, that, look, we've got more criminals in the creator club here on YouTube than we've got probably normal people, honestly. Whatever, y'all fight, you slander each other, do what y'all do. But in the meantime, all that you're doing is taking the focus off Abby and Libby and Richard Allen, three people who are involved in this case. Abby and Libby desperately needing justice, and Richard Allen, who is, being treated like a criminal, which, in the beginning, it wasn't that much of a deal. We do that, but that's what we do with criminals. And then, yeah, we constantly keep seeing that all the evidence is stacking up otherwise. All right, let me look at some of y'all stuff. Hiawatha. I always found it curious that the news was reporting on two missing teenagers when they had only been missing 2 hours. Never seen that much attention given to what was purported to be a runaway or missing person. Yeah, yeah. Y'all have some really good comments in here. I am going to uh, I'm going to go back and look at them. Okay. Holman only went with the answers the professor gave to his specific questions. He completely ignored everything else he said. Yeah, of course he did. Like this just makes me mad. Yeah, very inquisitive. Yes. You know what? If you're still in here, I'm gonna tell you something. There's a lot I ask and try to find out that I don't say a dadgum thing about. Because you know what? I want to live to see the trial. Because the way it's gone for some creators, I'm not gonna name names, or LE or all the other people. There's been a really large amount of people in and around the Delphi case who have met with strange ends, right? Creators who just dropped over, whatever, whatever. All right. So what do y'all think? Let me skip down here to the bottom. Um, debates. I don't know what y'all are talking about. All right. If you have yeah, digital, you're right. I'm madder now than I was. Yeah, I am too. I am too. That the whole last part of that, the whole part of this, the whole thing, like how I'm calming down a little bit now. How how do you sit there as a law enforcement officer, as a prosecutor, as a anything? How do you sit there and know? How do you sleep at night knowing these things and keeping them purposely out of the public eye, purposely denying exculpatory evidence? You know, so I don't know what's going to happen, and all of there's so many emotions. Just bada bing, bada boom. Is that how you say it? I don't know. We don't say that in the South, so whatever. Um, anyway, please, if you're seeing this on Hello Mario, Linda K, you are correct. Digital, you are correct. All right, I'm going to end this because I know there's going to be a lot of people talking about it tonight. I couldn't wait till tonight. I had to get it out of my system. I had to rant and rave, and yeah, that's it. But that last information and thank you, you. Uh, that last information was the one that just got me. So comment below. Tell me what you think. I appreciate you all. Thanks for hanging in here while I did all of my crazy rantings. I had absolutely no smooth. There was no silky in any of this today. It was all sassy Southern tea today, or maybe even worse. All right. I appreciate you all. I hope we can get through another day without any more drama, but it's Delphi. So, in the meantime, stay silky. I'll see you when I see you.